Let's cut to the chase. You know why you're here. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're either worried I'm talking about you, trying to confirm I'm not talking about you, or you're a Grindlemane desperately hoping to find some way to stop being God's biggest mistake. To all the Grindlemanes out there, this video is about talking to women, not food. And while yes, in certain contexts you can eat both, I doubt that women will find fulfillment in your botched attempts. Now, to add this little disclaimer here at the beginning of this video has been girl approved. That's right, everybody. I let a girl in my community, one of my mods, read over my script, and she said, and I quote, "You got it all right." DE did the most evil thing I think I have ever seen a gaming company do. Force gamers to do a friendship dating simulator to progress. Seriously. I bet they were laughing their Canadian butts off thinking about how much this will make their community suffer. And they were right. I've been looking at the Warframe subreddit a lot, and let me just say, wow. There have been so many, what did I do wrong with, insert girl name here, that people have started asking the mods to stop allowing these posts. And really, all these posts have one thing in common. They didn't actually listen to the person they were talking to. It seems most people want owie, and most people are full of crap. You don't actually want owie, you just want the easiest option. And I know this because I saw numerous comments on Reddit saying various versions of, "At first I really wanted Eleanor, but after talking to her, she's too emotional, so I went with Owie." So you don't actually want Owie. What you want is someone you don't really have to listen to and just makes you feel good. I'm gonna say this, guys. Outside the whole tongue thing, Eleanor is, in my opinion, the most realistic of the three girls. Lettie is the second most realistic, and to me, Owie is the least. Now, some of you may really like Owie, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. This is more for those that are only going for Owie because the other two are just too hard, and only picking Owie as a backup because she's the least amount of work. I know I went a little hard on you all there, but this isn't a video to discourage you, but hopefully teach you some things that maybe you can even use in your daily life. Some of you all are probably thinking right now, who is this milquetoast jerk telling me I'm bad with women? And well, to that I say, hello, I am Sticky MZ. I don't usually talk about my dating life or my past when it comes to girls because, well, I find it pathetic when guys brag about how many girls they've been with, so I don't usually do it. It's sad. But for the case of this video, I will say this. If you were to ask me how many girls over the years I've been romantically involved with, I would have to say, I do not know. I don't. Low end would probably be 100, but I've never actually really kept track. Now, once again, this isn't a brag. I really don't care what you think. Think I'm cool for that? Think I'm lame? It's my life, and I can't really change things. But I will say, whatever the number is, that also doesn't matter, because out of all those girls, only one mattered. Only one that I still hate myself for screwing up things so badly. Only one that when it was over made me want to be a better person to any girl that came after. So now that I got that out of the way, and honestly, I'm not particularly excited I even had to mention that stuff because once again, I think it's freaking lame to talk about. But after some thought, I felt it was needed for the context of this video and to show I do kind of know what I'm talking about. Now, if you're still here and you're upset with me over how I talk and present things, don't be. None of my insults are real. I'm just a sarcastic person. I truly want to potentially help you. I never once wavered in my attempts at getting lover status with Eleanor, as you can see in the video below. She is currently standing awkwardly by the couch. I have lived with a couple girls I was dating in my real life, and not once did they not use the furniture. So this is a little different from me. Most of the girls I've met do enjoy sitting. Sitting may in fact be one of their favorite things in the world. Any girl watching this video, can you confirm if you enjoy sitting? Eleanor and Lettie have the most emotional depth and are the most interesting to me. I'm sure Owie probably has some depth to her, but I have yet to see it outside of people thinking she's dumb and thus find her boring. Eleanor seems to be the most intimidating to players because she has the most emotional baggage out of the three. But that is also what makes her the most realistic to me personally because girls have baggage. That's life. I've dated a lot of girls, some for years, some for a weekend, some for a single night, and they all have one thing in common: baggage. That's not an insult to women. I'm a guy, and I have more baggage than can reasonably fit on an airplane. Women go through life very differently than men, and I think the internet has made guys lose sight of that. A lot of guys think women have it so easy because it's so easy for pretty girls to get attention on the internet, or they can make so much money simply for showing their bodies on spicy pages. Well, guess what, guys? You're the ones who created that market. You can't complain girls are making money off their looks and bodies when you're the ones who created the market for them to do so in the first place. Who do you think is liking and subscribing to their content? Mostly guys. This is such a stupid complaint I see on Twitter. Now, I don't think Eleanor has a spicy page. I've looked. I can't find any on the backroom PC. If somebody can point me in the right direction, my comments are open. Do you really want to know the secret to talking to Eleanor? She just wants to feel like she's still human. That's it. That even though she's infected, she's not a monster. I keep seeing these posts on Reddit. I screwed up Eleanor. She's too hard to talk to. And they show a post telling her she's a terrible person for listening to her friend's thoughts, even though she clearly said she can't control it and hates that it happens. We don't consider people with Tourette's terrible people because they can't control what they say or their tics. Eleanor is the same. The internet has made it so easy for guys to judge girls. I don't even know if guys on the internet even see girls as people anymore. I'm gonna tell you a secret, guys. 50% of getting a girl to talk to you romantically is treating her like she's a person. Not treating her like she's a goddess, because that just screams insecurity. Not treating her like garbage. That screams red flag. I do know girls stay with guys who aren't very nice to them, but the rules are slightly different once your hearts are involved. I'm just talking general interaction in the first steps. You all can worry about what comes after when you can deal with the girl's cornucopia of emotions. Eleanor also has the tragic backstory of the man she was going to marry dying. I've seen screenshots of guys telling her to move on and get over it and then wonder why that wasn't the correct answer. A girl's tragic past is not something you have the right to tell her to move on from. Trauma lingers a lot longer than joy inside a person. There is nothing wrong with her or any girl still hurting from a death or loss of someone they once loved. That doesn't mean they don't love you, just because they are still hurting from someone they once were involved with in the past. Now, if they keep bringing up their past lover and the pain, that's different. That's something they need to deal with on their own. But just mentioning it and letting you know where her head and heart are is not an attempt to make you jealous, but due to the intense trust she has for you. I encourage everyone who has trouble talking to girls to reset after New Year's and without looking on the internet for the right answers, listen to Eleanor and try to win her heart. It's good practice, everybody. It's good practice. Lettie is the next realistic, in my opinion. Her interests are a little intense for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my weird kinks, and I'm not gonna kink shame. But pain is not one of them. Just like Eleanor, Lettie is easy if you actually listen to her. She comes off closed off and slowly opens up, and that is because she's angry. She was used, experimented on. Her friends were used by Albrecht. She helped unknowingly spread the virus that mutated people around her. She wants to know that you aren't trying to use her too, that you're actually there to help without wanting anything in return. And then after she trusts you, she wants to know that her anger in being used is justified. Yes, she has a lot of emotions too, and she tries to hide them and maybe even feels ashamed for what she thinks is weakness. But she's really simple to get to know if you just pay attention. A lot of guys can't figure out the simple, would you still love me if I was a worm question girls like to throw out. Guys, you're missing what the question really is. Yes, at face value, it's a stupid question that feels like a trap, but it isn't. The real question is, do you only love me because of my looks? That's the real question, guys. That's what they're really asking. And girls ask it in a weird way because asking the straightforward question makes them feel cocky and insecure. So they dress it up in a little playfulness. Now let's get to Aoi. I don't have a lot of advice for her because to me, she isn't real. Not that Lettie or Eleanor are real people, but they seem the most realistic to me as far as girls I've met in my life. Because even if Aoi was a real person, I wouldn't see her as real. I cannot trust a girl or even a guy friend who is always bubbly, always happy. That's not real. There has to be at least some pain, some trauma in the person, some kind of emotional cracks. I'm gonna be honest, I view girls like Aoi fake. I personally could never even date an overly happy girl. Not only do I not know if they are fake or not, but I know how messed up I am, and I know I'd probably destroy them emotionally. And honestly, I don't think anyone really needs advice for Aoi. You could realistically close your eyes and pick any option and end up dating her. She's just that freaking easy. If you think at any point I am judging you or looking down upon you for the lack of pixel riz you display, I am not. I have no right to. I have failed with many girls. I have failed hard. Yes, I've had a lot of successes, but I've had even more failures. At the end of the day, does my successes even matter? I'm not married, have no kids that I know about. I can count on one hand the number of long-term relationships I've had. All my relationships, except for a few outliers, have ended mostly after a day or two. So I have no right to judge anyone but myself. I've just seen a lot of guys on the internet turning to the wrong type of men, giving out bullcrap advice when it comes to women. Or worse, going to people trying to turn women into your enemy. You're not going to get the hot girl to give you the time of day if you look like a slug yourself. Sorry, I know that was rough to hear, but it's true. You gotta focus on being your best if you want to attract the best. I'm not going to tell you to work out or become a gym bro. What I will tell you is to start caring about yourself. If you can't think of a single reason why a girl would be attracted to you, make a reason. Make several reasons. If you wouldn't date the girl version of yourself, how can you expect a girl to want to date you? Getting to know a girl takes effort. They have a lot of emotions. You have to listen, and sometimes shutting up is your best friend when they are venting. And that's okay. Eleanor is not a minefield, she's realistic. It's okay she's not normal. It's okay she's got the weight of a traumatic past causing her insecurities. Because to me, the lack of normalcy, the cracked emotional state, and the desire to be seen is what I find beautiful in a girl.